As some of you may know, our dear friend and host, John Hales, passed away recently. What you're about to hear is pre-recorded. We didn't realise at the time that John would no longer be here to share this episode with us.
For 69 episodes, John has been the voice of Folk-a-Dilly Tales. Sometimes he'd just introduce the episode, sometimes he'd tell the whole story, or he'd recite the poem, and sometimes he'd invite a guest and just introduce the tales. He'd encourage Lesley and me to tell the tales ourselves, and gave us feedback on delivery and performance. Sometimes he would play the characters in the stories, giving each of them a specific personality, but they were always special, and it was always John at his best.
John's voice has been heard in 71 countries and 395 cities around the world. Though he is no longer with us, his voice remains, and with every podcast we have released together, his legacy lives on. So please sit back and let John Hales welcome you to Folk-a-Dilly Tales one last time. Rest in peace, John. We will miss you.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this month's episode of Folk-a-Dilly Tales. We will be here to tell you some crazy stories, some amazing poems, accompanied by some fantastic songs. My name is John Hales, and I will be your host. This month, Joshua Scamp and the Gypsy Curse.
The mist hung heavy over the River Ebble in the spring of 1801, clinging to the thatched roofs of Odstock like a shroud. In a small encampment on the edge of the village, Joshua Scamp sat by a dying fire. He was a man of the road, a Romany traveller known for his steady hands and a heart that belonged entirely to his daughter Mary. But Mary was weeping. Her husband, a restless man named Noah Lee, had vanished into the night and returned with a fine horse that didn't belong to him. In those days, the law had severe penalties, and to steal a horse was to forfeit your life. When the constables arrived, the camp fell silent. They found the horse, and they found Noah cowering in the shadows of a wagon. Joshua looked at his daughter's terrified eyes, at her young face and swollen belly. He knew that if Noah swung from the gallows, Mary and her baby would be left to wander the world in rags and hunger. Stepping into the lantern light, Joshua Scamp held out his wrists.
The boy had nothing to do with it.
He lied, his voice as calm as the dawn.
It was me. I took the beast.
Joshua was taken to Fisherton Jail in Salisbury. Throughout the trial, he never wavered. He watched the sunrise on the 1st of April 1801 and walked to the gallows with the dignity of a king. He looked into the crowd, but many knew he was looking directly at his son-in-law, and he spoke clearly.
Look what you have brought to me. Live soberly and take care of your wife and family.
He died for a crime he never committed, a secret buried deep in his chest, to keep his daughter's world from breaking. The people of Odstock buried him in the corner of St. Mary's churchyard. and for years the Romany people returned every Easter to his grave. They brought cider and songs. They planted a briar rose that bloomed a defiant blood-red colour against the grey stone. They called him a martyr, the man who gave his life for his kin. But the villagers grew cold to the travellers. The vicar and the churchwarden tired of the gypsy gatherings in their quiet graveyard. One afternoon, with a sneer and a spade, the sexton uprooted Joshua's rose and dragged the heavy wooden door shut, turning the key in the lock, banishing the mourners forever. Noah's mother and a gypsy queen stood at the gate, her dark eyes flashing with rage. She didn't scream, but she whispered a curse that curdled the air.
I curse you, be sure. If you lock that door, the hand of that person shall live life no more. The year will be fleeting, their health it will fail, as life has no meaning and death will prevail.
The villagers laughed, until the churchwarden fell ill and withered away within a month. Then the sexton, James Hackett, who had torn up the rose, was found dead in his bed. Finally, the vicar, consumed by a nameless terror and a sudden fever, followed them to the grave before the autumn leaves had even finished falling. Panic gripped Odstock. The heavy iron key became a cursed object. Legend says a later rector, trembling with fear, carried the key down to the banks of the Ebble and hurled it into the rushing water, praying the river would wash away the blood of the innocent. For over 200 years, the doors of St. Mary's were never locked, not against the wind, nor the rain, nor the night. Today, Joshua's headstone still stands, and a new rose grows by the wall. It was planted by a local bishop in a ceremony presided over by a gypsy queen, who lifted the curse.
The Gypsy Curse. In Odstock town, there's a tale to be told of Joshua Scamp, who was brave and so bold. A horse that was stolen, and the blame was soon cast, and Joshua's name uttered loud and fast. Falsely accused of a crime he'd not done, as his son-in-law hid in the afternoon sun, and away to the courtroom his sad frame was led, as the gavel came down and the sentence was said. So Joshua stood there before the town crowd, falsely convicted, his head bowing down, but truth was there hiding the darkest of crimes, his son-in-law cowering in perfect sight. They hanged Joshua Scamp by the neck, a mistake. A good life destroyed, many hearts it would break. And the queen of the gypsies was wounded so deep, casting a curse towards the church's keep. The gypsy proclaimed, if you lock that door, the hand of that person shall live life no more. The year will be fleeting, their health it will fail, as life has no meaning, and death will prevail. And from that day forward, the door it was cursed. No one turned the key of that sacred old church. The door left ajar, keeping darkness at bay. A reminder of Joshua's fate on that day. So Joshua's grave, where he lies buried deep, 'neath the flowers well hidden, his soul rests in peace. It sleeps there in silence, and the stone bears his name. And the villagers cry for their ancestors' shame. Don't lock up the church, or you'll suffer the fate of the Gypsy curse. Don't suffer the fate of the Gypsy curse.
Odstock town there's a tale to be told. Joshua Scamp, who is brave and so bold. A horse that was stolen, the blame was soon cast, and Joshua's name uttered loud and fast. Falsely accused of a crime he'd not done, as his son-in-law hid in the afternoon sun. Away to the courtroom his sad frame was led, and the gavel came down as the sentence was said. Papa, don't lock up the church, or you'll suffer the fate of the Gypsy curse. Papa, don't suffer the fate of the Gypsy curse. So Joshua stood there before the town crowd, falsely convicted, his head bowing down. But truth was there hiding the darkest of crimes, his son-in-law cowering in perfect sight. They hanged Joshua Scamp by the neck, a mistake. A good life destroyed, many hearts it would break. The queen of the Gypsies was wounded so deep, casting a curse towards the church's keep. Papa, don't lock up the church, or you'll suffer the fate of the Gypsy curse. Papa, don't suffer the fate of the Gypsy curse. Gypsy proclaimed then, if you lock that door, the hand of that person shall live life no more. The year will be fleeting, their health it will fail, as life has no meaning and death will prevail. From that day forward the door it was cursed. No one turned the key of that sacred old church. The door left ajar, keeping darkness at bay, a reminder of Joshua's fate on that day. Papa, don't lock up the church, or you'll suffer the fate of the Gypsy curse. Papa, don't suffer the fate of the Gypsy curse. And so Joshua's grave, where he lies buried deep, 'neath the flowers well hidden, his soul rests in peace. It sleeps there in silence, the stone bears his name, and the villagers cry for their ancestors' shame. Papa, don't lock up the church, or you'll suffer the fate of the Gypsy curse. Papa, don't suffer the fate of the Gypsy curse. Papa, don't lock up the church, or you'll suffer the fate of the Gypsy curse.
Next week, we have the incredible story of the Great Yarmouth Werewolf.
In Yarmouth's shadow long ago, a fiery lord brought fear and woe. From Ryland's dark and whispered night, barren scarf, a fearsome sight. The marshes blackened where you roamed, a heart of ice, no soul to own. When death came knocking, earth denied, the devil's curse, his fate was tied. In Borough Castle's ruined keep, he lurks until the people sleep. Rusty fur and eyes aglow, he wakes to the cry of the wicked crow. A priest once chained him neath the gate, where bell with candles sealed his fate. And under floorboards dark and cold, the blighted world still waits its toll. Wrong with the wolf beneath the moon. Hear the howl, the cursed tune. Fangs of fire, blood and bone. Wrong with the wolf beneath the moon.
Folk-a-Dilly Tales is a Zingaro Blue production. It was written, produced and edited by Mario and Lesley Price. Mixed by Frank Erlenkämper. The poems, lyrics and songs are also written by Mario and Lesley Price. My name is John Hales and I've been your host. Our storyteller this week was Mario Price. The poem was read by Lesley Price. The contents of this podcast are based on the book Folk Stories, Legends and Poems by Mario and Lesley Price and are available as a book and an e-book from Amazon under the name Folk Stories, Legends and Poems. The music can be found under that same name and as volumes 1 and 2 streaming on all major platforms. Today's background music was supplied by Scott Buckley. You can find the link to these compositions in the comments below. Be sure to check out our music videos that tell some of our stories on YouTube. For more information about Zingaro Blue, visit our website at www.zingaroblue.co.uk or find additional links in the comments section. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please hit the follow button so that you can listen to the next episode of Folk-a-Dilly Tales.